Myself, I was diagnosed mid to late 80s, and I was diagnosed in Glasgow. And that was, it was an unusual way to be diagnosed because I was taking part in a drug trial in Edinburgh. Part of it, part of the criteria was that they would do an HIV test, and my HIV test came back as a positive. However, when I was diagnosed, it then again still wasn't HIV. I was diagnosed with HTLV3. It was only some years later that they changed it to HIV, and then HIV and AIDS. Although the majority of people at that time, it was just AIDS. And having been diagnosed, there were very few, if any, services in Glasgow. I've always been very open about my status, even in the early years, to the point where I would go into my local gay bar, and it was like Moses parting the Red Sea. And people would actually say to the bar staff, "We don't want the glass that he's just drunk out of," which was a bit kind of off-putting. But there again, the positive thing there was that the lady who managed the bar would contact me if somebody had been newly diagnosed, because at the time, then it was, you got a diagnosis and basically it was a death sentence. Most people would be dead within 12 months. There was no treatment whatsoever at the time. That only came later with the advent of AZT. But even with AZT, the strength of the dosage, they were still trying to find what would work. But it was that toxic, that it was AZT that killed people. However, they did come to finding a dosage that was workable. And that was done through the Concord trials. The Concord trials was the first HIV trial ever done in the UK. And about the only thing that we learnt from it was how not to run a drug trial. But that again has got a positive note to it, because nothing was ever done the same again.